You've poured hours into scripting, shooting, and editing. You hit that big red upload button, feeling pretty good about it, only to check back a few hours later and see nothing. Zero. It is one of the most frustrating feelings for any creator out there, but I'm here to tell you it's not random, and it is absolutely fixable.
So that's the million-dollar question, right? Why? Is the algorithm just completely ignoring you? Is your content just not cutting it? Why does it feel like your videos are invisible on a platform that has literally billions of users? You know, if you've ever felt like this, you are so not alone. This is a real comment from a new creator, Anish, and it just perfectly captures that feeling of, well, helplessness. But here's the secret. YouTube doesn't hate you. It just doesn't understand you yet.
To really solve this whole zero view problem, we have to pull back the curtain. We've got to stop thinking like a creator for just a minute and start thinking like the algorithm. We need to get a handle on how YouTube actually sees, categorizes, and judges your video from the very second you upload it.
All right, let's dive in. Here's our game plan. We'll start by decoding how YouTube actually sees your video. Then we'll get into the metrics that really matter, lay out a clear action plan to get those views, and finally, we'll talk about the long-term mindset you need for success.
So how does the YouTube algorithm actually see your content? Well, it doesn't watch it like you and I do. No. Instead, it reads what we're going to call its digital DNA, a complete data profile that tells the entire system everything it needs to know.
This digital DNA has three main parts. First, the data that tells YouTube what your video is all about. Second, the rules that say who is allowed to see it. And third, the feedback that shows how real people are reacting to it. So let's break each of those down.
The first part is called the snippet. Think of this like your video's passport or its basic ID card. It's all that metadata, your title, your description, your tags. This is the very first clue you give the algorithm about what your video is about.
Next up is the status. And this is basically the gatekeeper. It sets the rules for who gets in. Is your video public, so anyone can find and watch it? Or is it private or unlisted, which limits its visibility? It's a simple setting, but it is so critical.
And finally, we have statistics. This is your video's real-time report card. The second it goes live, YouTube starts tracking every single view, every like, and every comment. This data is a direct feedback loop from your audience straight to the algorithm.
Look, I know this might look a little technical, but it's really not. When the system sees snippet.title, it's just reading your video title. When it sees status.privacy status, that's just your visibility setting. You're actually telling YouTube all of this stuff every single time you upload. This is just how the algorithm sees it on the back end.
Okay, so once YouTube reads your video's digital DNA, it starts to judge its quality based on how viewers react. And there are two metrics here that are king, and understanding the difference between them is absolutely crucial.
Let's be super clear here. Watch time and audience retention are not the same thing. Watch time is the total cumulative number of minutes people have spent watching your video. A big number tells YouTube, hey, this video is valuable. Audience retention, on the other hand, is the percentage of your video that people watch, on average. A high percentage tells YouTube, hey, this video is engaging from start to finish. You need both.
Now, beyond watch time, the algorithm is looking at other really clear signals of engagement. Likes, that's a quick thumbs up. Comments, that builds community and shows people are really invested. And shares, well, that's the ultimate compliment. It means a viewer found your content so good, they were willing to put their own reputation on the line to recommend it to someone else.
Okay, theory is great and all, but how do you actually turn all this knowledge into real, honest-to-goodness views? Let's get into the action plan. This is your playbook for getting unstuck.
First things first, the absolute, non-negotiable basics. You have to verify your account. It's a super simple step that proves you're a human. Next, do your research. Try typing a few ideas into the YouTube search bar and just see what pops up in the autocomplete. That's what real people are looking for. And finally, bring real value. Seriously, the algorithm is getting smarter about sidelining low-effort or just reposted content, so make sure your unique spin really shines through.
All right, next up is your optimization playbook. Think of your thumbnail as a giant billboard on the side of the highway. It has to grab attention and earn that click. Your title needs to be searchable, and your description and tags, that's your chance to feed the algorithm even more clues. And the simplest check of all, make sure your video is set to public. You would be shocked at how common a mistake that is.
And now for the final step, the one so many people miss, promotion. Hitting publish is not the finish line, it's the starting line. You've got to drive that initial traffic from social media, from newsletters, from anywhere you have an audience. That first push sends a powerful signal to the algorithm that, hey, this video is worth paying attention to. Now, for the final piece of the puzzle. Getting views isn't just about a checklist of tactical steps. It's really about adopting the right mindset for long-term growth on the platform.
You know, it really comes down to a choice. Are you a poster and ghoster, someone who uploads a video, then disappears, just hoping the algorithm will do all the heavy lifting? Or are you a community contributor, someone who engages with comments, watches other videos, and actively signals to YouTube that you're a valuable member of the ecosystem? Guess which one the algorithm is built to reward.
Okay, here's the surprising tip, especially for new channels. Focus on the number one. If you have fewer than 10,000 subscribers, uploading more than one video per day can actually hurt your growth. It forces the algorithm to split its attention, and it just doesn't give a single video enough time to collect that precious data and gain momentum.
And along those same lines, a brand new channel needs a warm-up. Think about it. If you create an account and immediately start spamming uploads, you kind of look like a bot. Instead, spend a couple of weeks just using the account like a normal person. Watch videos, leave thoughtful comments, like things. This proves you're a real human, and it builds a baseline of trust with the system before you ever ask it to promote your stuff.
So let's just recap the big takeaways here. First, remember your video is just data to the algorithm. Second, focus on watch time and audience retention as your main signals of quality. Third, don't you dare skip optimization and promotion. They give your video a fighting chance. And finally, engagement isn't just a number to track, it's a real conversation.
You see, the crucial point in all of this is that the zero-view problem isn't some big, unsolvable mystery. By understanding how the system actually works, and by taking deliberate, strategic actions, you have way more control over your video success than you probably think. Which leaves us with one last question to really think about. When you look at your own channel, your own process, are you just uploading videos into the void? Or are you strategically creating, optimizing, and promoting content that truly provides value to an audience? The answer to that question, well, it changes everything.